What's up, my married at first sight peeps? What'd you think of tonight's episode? It's kind of hard to follow up from last week's. Last week's was so lit, as they say. It's kind of hard to top that. But this week was kind of actually a letdown compared to last week. I was expecting a little bit more. It starts off with Jose and Rachel having breakfast or lunch, and he starts to apologize, but she's like, she wants a more heartfelt apology. So, she keeps explaining how he locked her out, and he's still talking about it. He didn't mean to and all that. He normally locks the door and goes to bed, but how do you lock the door and go to bed when your wife's not home? You're not single anymore. So she wasn't gonna let him off the hook that easy. And you can't blame her for that. I thought that was pretty desperate of him, and it looked bad. Looked like he couldn't handle the situation, and he was having a meltdown, which he clearly was. But he apologized. He even broke out these little cards and wrote down how he was going to improve and that he was really sorry. So she accepted him back. She was talking about when they were eating when they're at lunch or breakfast that she's not going to let him talk to her like that. I never heard her say, though, she loves him again. I know she said last week, I don't love him anymore. So, but it looks like they're cool now. He said he's going to straighten things out, but I still think somewhere down the road, I think that temper's going to come back out, and I think she's going to be like, yeah, I'm seeing it again. She seemed like she was kind of sounding like Zach tonight, like she was afraid, even though he was apologizing, that he might show that same character flaw. He may show that again. And so she's kind of worried about it. She's thinking, I don't want that to rear its ugly head in the future, just in case I say, call you Zach. What if I call you Gil? Are you going to, go off on me again? And I call you Johnny? So we'll see what happens with that. These couples are really up one week, down the next. Like I said, I thought Brett and Ryan were the clear couple that were going to make it. And they seem like they were getting along better tonight. But he still has that distant look in his eye. I don't know if that's just his normal look, but he always has a look in his eye like his mind is somewhere else. But I'm starting to wonder, are they going to make it? I think when he thinks about the situation later, I know they keep showing a preview coming up where she catches him on a dating app, and I think it's with somebody she knows, so that might be the deal breaker for her. But I'm going to stick with what I said. I think, I don't know how he's going to explain that one unless he says, oh, that was from a while back. I just never deleted my profile. We'll see what happens. But let's see. Michaela and Zach. They go to a salsa dance class with Gil and Mirla. And, Gil and Mirla look like the ideal couple now. They had everybody fooled, or either the editors did, because it looks like they're just the ideal, they're getting along. She's showing affection. And, Gil still doesn't let her off the hook for her little bougie ways, as he puts it. But they're just getting along great now. It's like all the couples seem like they need to learn from them. But anyway, Michaela and Zach go salsa dancing, and Michaela, they were cool. But with this couple, it's like they'll be cool, and then they'll go back to something that happened like 3 days ago. It's like, well, you were just cool. So tonight, it's like Zach was the cool one, and Michaela was having the meltdown. She starts off dancing with him, learning salsa. I was wondering how she's going to do salsa in them high heels, first off. And then, she just stops. And Gil's like, what are you doing? You just going to quit on your partner? She's like, I'm done. He's like, you going to leave your husband to dance with the instructor who was a man? And she's like, yeah, I'm done. And so, Zach was a good sport about it. He still, was dancing with the instructor, which is something I would have done. I'd be like, well, she's done. I'm going to sit down too. And, Gil and Miller just having a good old time, and Gil sits down with them at the end when they're done doing their lesson, and he starts interrogating Michaela, and you could clearly see Michaela was getting heated. She's trying to hold it back and keep her composure, like not trying to show her anger because she knew, I guess, Zach would hold that against her. So she's sitting there like, yeah, I'm just done. And he was saying, well, if it's, he was trying to get through her head. Gil was trying to let her know that, it's if it's important to your husband, like, doesn't it matter to you? And she just didn't want to do it. And so, you know, Zach was trying to keep his composure. And like I said, you could tell Michaela was real heated because she doesn't feel like he thinks this marriage is going to make it because of what he said, 3 days before that about he didn't know if it was going to make it. Well, what he was trying to say is he hopes they make it, but he doesn't know if it's going to make it. So I guess she feel like she's kind of wasting her time, and she was holding that against him. I guess she just wasn't in the mood to do salsa with somebody she didn't think would be doing the salsa with her 20 years from now. But Gil was letting her have it, and I was actually thinking, it's good that he's asking these questions. Gil is actually he's turning into like one of the counselors now. So, where's your relationship at this juncture? And why are you doing this to Zach? And I'm gonna need you to straighten up. Gil is the dude on this season. I like Gil, and Marila's just softening up. You can see her each week softening up, or either they're editing it differently now, and it's probably a little bit of both. But Gil and Marila are just, pretty much lovey-dovey and stuff. She was trying to give him a kiss, and it's looking good for those two now. Bao and Johnny at the end of the show. I'm kind of skipping around because this show was kind of, it was kind of like the throwaway show for this season. I think there'll be more fireworks next week. But at the end of the show, all the couples meet at a big dinner table. And, Bao's talking about how she makes gourmet meals and stuff. And Johnny's sitting there looking distant like Ryan, and he's sitting there just tearing this rose. And he even said on Unfiltered, I watched that to see further thoughts. He said every time he wanted to speak, instead of speaking, he just tore a rose instead of speaking. But everybody could tell he was distant. She said, I didn't think it was that big of a deal what she was saying, but he took it as, she said she always makes gourmet meals or something like that. And he was telling he met with Jose outside of the restaurant. He had to step out. I guess he said he had to use the bathroom. And Gil's like, what's up with your bladder, man? Like, I guess he had gone out a couple times. But he was just mad that she was saying she made gourmet meals. And he's like, that's not true. He's telling Jose. Like, she's trying to make me look bad, like she's the good woman and I'm the bad guy. And he just was bothered by the whole thing. And he just seems to be over. It wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, if she said she's making gourmet meals and she's not, okay, is that worthy of ending a marriage? But like I said, it looks like he's looking for an escape route. And they showed a clip for next week where she asks, they're doing Zoom over the laptop talking to Pastor Cal, and she asks Johnny, is there somebody else? And depending on the editing, he just sat there looking concerned. So I don't know. He's just bothered by every little thing she does, and I didn't get the feeling that she was trying to make him look bad. She may have been trying to make herself look good in front of the other wives, like, yeah, I'm cooking salmon and gourmet meals for my husband, and how's that making him look bad? And she likes affection, which he should like. It keeps looking like each week to me that Bao is the more mature of the two. He's more like he seems like a teenager or something. Like he's still trying to find himself, and I'm not all the way sure he's attracted to Bao physically. He acts like he is, but if a man's attracted to his wife physically, is he going to be really caring that, she's talking about she cooks gourmet meals and she's not? I mean, is it that serious? So I think he might just have a different type and he doesn't know how to say it. So he's like more concerned with looking like, do I look like a bad guy if I come out and say she's not my type physically? Because he keeps complaining, how she'll do things and act childish. And he said before that was a complete turnoff, when she does that. So I think he's trying to say her personality isn't his type when it's really that she physically may not be his type. Maybe he likes her body, talked about her body. Maybe he don't like her face, or maybe he likes her face and don't like her body. I don't know. The dude's just having a meltdown, and he always goes to Jose. That's his boy. And while he's outside of the restaurant talking to Jose, Bao comes out and like, where's the Uber? And then, they leave, and Johnny walks over to her like a little pouting child, like he's just had a spanking or something. And I saw on Unfiltered that Zach asked Johnny, how was that Uber ride home? And Johnny said it was silent, like we didn't say anything to each other. So, there's a lot of growing up that, a lot of these people have to do. And I think now more that I'm watching the show, it looks like Mirla is probably the most sound woman on the show. She's very feminine. She flirts with Gil a lot, and Gil likes to, kind of rough her up with his teasing, and she doesn't really do it back, but she takes it like a champ. She's smiling all the time. She's got his back. So I think these women could actually learn from Mirla. Looks like we had her paid completely wrong, but we can only go by what they show us. And if they choose to edit the show in a certain way to make her look a certain kind of way that week, then, all we can go by is what we see. We're not there behind the scenes or, stuff like that. So I think Mirla seems like a cool woman, if she wasn't so bougie, she'd be even more perfect. But like I said, they need to learn from Gil and Mirla. I think they're going to make it. Bao and Johnny, I just don't know. This guy has a lot of growing up to do. Jose, this guy, he's definitely stuck in his ways. And Rachel, I think she's going to have her breaking point. And Ryan and Brett, I just don't know. I think that Ryan ought to be happy that he got somebody that seems as cool as Brett. She seems easygoing, But, tell me what you guys thought of this week's episode. This was episode 11, season 13, MAFS, Married at First Sight. Thank you for watching. Make sure and subscribe and check out my alternate channel, N.W.J. Yay. And be fearless.
Hello, boxing aficionados. This is Stacey Dash, and welcome to N.W.J, the world's most dangerous boxing page. At a time where truth is dangerous, Jay pulls no punches. So get your hands up and keep swinging. And don't forget, subscribe.